Welcome to Come Get Woo Woo. We're your hosts, Becky and Ro, here to hold space for the unseen, the unspoken, and the deeply felt. This is a place for seekers, for those who sense that there's more, for those who hear between the words, feel beyond the room, and know without knowing why.
Together, we'll explore the language of spirit, the clarity of your clairs, and the signs that rise up when you're ready to notice. You're not imagining it, you're remembering it. This is Come Get Woo Woo.
Have you ever closed your eyes and seen something so clear? A color, a shape, a tiny flash of a scene. Maybe it was your imagination, or maybe it was clairvoyance trying to speak up. Hey, woo-woo seekers, I'm Becky.
And I'm Ro. Today we're diving deep into what clairvoyance really is, how it connects to your energy, and how you can gently open this incredible gift. We'll explore how it connects with your chakras, the different ways it can show up, and some of the lesser known clairs that intertwine with it. We'll also share ways you can strengthen this ability and offer insights that go beyond what's in our journals or meditations. Think of this as a chance to really expand your understanding, to see how clairvoyance might be working in your life already, and how you can invite it even more.
What is clairvoyance? Well, clairvoyance means clear seeing. It's an intuitive ability to receive visual information that goes beyond ordinary sight. These images may come as full visions, mental pictures, symbols, colors, or even flickers of movement or light. It's not always grand and dramatic. Sometimes it's just subtle, quiet, and symbolic. Since we're eventually dedicating a full episode to our chakras, we're going to touch on one of the most connected clairvoyant one today, the third eye chakra, located between your eyebrows. The color associated with this is indigo. It's linked to the element of light, and it governs intuition, imagination, inner vision, perception beyond the physical.
When the third eye is balanced, you trust your inner guidance and see clearly, even what's hidden. When blocked or overactive, it can lead to doubt, confusion, overthinking, or unwanted psychic overload. Your third eye may tingle when you receive clairvoyant insight. A subtle pressure, buzzing, or warmth between your eyebrows can be a sign that your third eye is activating during a download or an intuitive hit. If you feel like your third eye is blocked, you can focus on the third eye, visualize its color, indigo for the third eye, spinning brightly. Imagine light flowing in and out of it, clearing and activating it.
Clairvoyance doesn't always look like seeing full-blown spirits standing at the foot of your bed. Most of the time, it's far more subtle, like a flicker in your mind's eye, a quick image that pops up out of nowhere, or a dream that feels sharper than the rest. It might show up as symbols or colors when you close your eyes, or little mental movies that play when you're talking about someone or tuning into energy. Sometimes it's even just a sense of lightness or darkness around a situation. It's not about seeing with your physical eye. It's about perceiving with your inner vision, noticing the way spirit, energy, and your own intuition uses visuals to speak to you. You may already be clairvoyant without even realizing it. It doesn't always announce itself with big dramatic visions. More often, it's quietly weaving into your everyday life. Clairvoyants are often visual thinkers, even when they don't know they're intuitive. If you think in pictures, recall directions by visualizing places, or see scenes in your head when reading, you already are using clairvoyance without even realizing it.
Here's how it could sneak in small, ordinary moments that are anything but ordinary. You daydream vividly and often see scenarios in your head. You visualize something before it happens, then it does. You get strong mental images when someone is speaking. You sense movement or flashes of light out of the corner of your eye. You see symbols during meditation or hear a word and instantly picture it. You remember people by the picture in your mind, not their name. You get chills when you imagine something visually powerful. You have vivid dreams, prophetic dreams, or lucid dreaming moments.
Dreams are a clairvoyance playground. Many people receive their strongest clairvoyant messages while dreaming, especially vivid, symbolic, or reoccurring dreams. That random dream might actually be the soul sending you a visual download. Often people dismiss these moments as just imagination, but for clairvoyance, the imagination is the language of the spirit. Do you ever wonder, Ro, how many little moments like that we've both had, but we've brushed off as to it's just our imagination?
Yeah, thinking about it, I can't imagine how many moments brushed off.
I think about all the times that I've seen something in the corner of my eye and I'm like, oh my God, especially like, walking around and it's dark and you see something and you turn quickly to see if you can catch it and you don't.
Yes, I do that too. It's like, what was that little bright flash, Did I just imagine it?
Right. And that's one of those things that I always brushed off. And now, after going down this road, I'm like, rethinking some of those things that happen. It's been very interesting.
Do you think dogs have clairvoyance? Because sometimes I'll see Annie just look up at the ceiling and I'm like, what are you looking at? What's there?
I think animals in general are very perceptive. And they pick up on things, sense things way more than people do because we're too busy. One of the reasons why I didn't pay attention to that flash of light, it was because my focus was somewhere else. And that's one of the things, just slowing down and paying attention to your surroundings has made it a lot easier to actually see what Spirit's actually telling me.
Yeah, I wish I could see what Annie's seeing when she's sitting out looking there at the corner.
I bet.
So how do your clairvoyant impressions usually show up? Are they like images, flashes of colors, or something else like watching a movie, seeing snapshots, or more like sensing, I don't know, shapes or energy?
Well, for me, it's taken me a little bit because it's something I've had to slowly develop. I did not see many things. When I closed my eyes, I always saw colors. Then I started seeing maybe shadows. And now I did one the other day and we were doing practice and you were to bring up something that you loved and they wanted to say hi. So I was actually putting out the vibe to the energy to get one of my dogs and that had passed. And actually the other dog came in and he was like, no, look at me. So I had both of them. That was actually, that was a very tender moment and I got to see both of my dogs.
Now, I know you're into numerology. You must see numbers. So that is also part of clairvoyance.
It is. And that actually is probably one of the things I see most often. I see numbers all the time. Everybody always calls them their angel numbers. I think numbers speak differently to people. The 111 or the 1111 or the 222, 333, whatever it is. So I saw a lot of those. How about you? What do you see?
I see what looks like a photograph.
Mm.
So first it comes in as feet, usually, sometimes from the knee down. And then eventually I'll get a fuller picture, but it usually starts with the feet. What kind of shoes they're wearing. I could tell if it's a male or female that way. If it's bigger feet, you can tell if it's a male, or they're wearing some sort of dress or something like that. So it's usually a photo.
I remember when we were in one of our practices and you got my grandma. She had it was the rolled nylons, I believe it was, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Or it
Yeah.
was a grandma energy. I still
Yes.
remember that. That was fun.
My grandmother used to do the same thing with it. So I think that's how I connected it. But it was grandmother energy. Well, besides the
Exactly.
roll down stockings.
Right, exactly. And that's how they're speaking to you. So even though whether or not my grandmother actually had the nylons that rolled down, yours did.
Yes. So what practices help you open or deepen your clairvoyance?
One of the ones that I like to practice is where you stare at this object and then you close your eyes and see if you can visualize that object in your mind's eye. That's one of the ones that I started doing that's very simple. How about you? What are some of the practices that you like to use?
So for me, it's very similar to what you do, but instead I pictured my stove in my kitchen. And from there, I looked to see the countertops and then what was on top of the countertops. And then I would go look at the cabinets and where the sink is, and then the refrigerator and the floors. So that really helped strengthen my clairvoyance. So it's like my beginning journey was me trying to picture my stove in my mind's eye.
It doesn't seem like it would be a lot, but it's amazing how it helps though. And easy to do.
Yes, big time. Because all you have to sit there and remember, something that you already know.
Yep.
So let's go through some other fun ways that can help strengthen your clairvoyance.
All right. So one of the first ones is something that's commonly done on a regular basis, and that's the guided visualization meditations. And this is where you use guided meditations specifically designed to open the third eye and to take you on an inner journey and focus on details of what you see in your mind. A perfect example is our sacred tree meditations on our YouTube channel at Woo Woo Seekers, where you can experience a rich visual journey step by step. These meditations are designed to open your third eye and to take you on a journey inward and focus on the details of what you see in your mind's eye. Have you tried any of our meditations yet?
Yes, we did the healing circle all together.
Yes, we did. And actually, it was fantastic. Okay. Hearing my own voice as you're doing a meditation isn't as good as when I listen to yours. So yes, going through the healing circle one it was very healing, actually.
Me, I don't like listening to my own
I
voice
know.
either.
I love listening to the ones you've done, Ro. And they're very, I can actually start to visualize the couch and the chairs and the table. One of the second ones that we have is the object recognition. And now, like I stated earlier, this is actually one of the ones I first started working with, is where you stare intently at a simple object, like an apple or a pattern or a playing card for about 30 to 60 seconds. And you're going to notice every detail or try to take in every single detail. Then you're going to close your eyes and try to visually recreate this image in your mind's eye. And you're going to be paying attention to the colors, the shapes, and the shadows, everything. The next one is going to be color blending. Now, I've never tried this one, but, going through all of these different things, it's really got me of like, oh, crap, there's a lot that I can actually do. So this one, color blending, is where you close your eyes and you imagine two distinct colors. And then you try to blend them in your mind's eye to create a third color. And then make it disappear and try again.
So that one I've done with shapes. So,
okay.
Yeah, so you could have like an orange circle and then a yellow triangle and a green heart, and then switch it up to a yellow circle and a green triangle and a blue heart. So that's another way of doing that.
That's actually blending the two different visual exercises too.
Mm-hmm. The next one I have is the room scan, where you sit in a room and consciously absorb its details, and then close your eyes and mentally walk through the room, recalling every object, color, and texture you can. And we have a meditation for this, and you can find it at comegetwoowoo.com, and it'll direct you to where you could find the meditation. But it's very similar to the kitchen that I used to mentally try to picture.
Yeah. That was, I think, one of the first exercises that we did in Nancy's class, wasn't it? Where you visualize walking into your kitchen.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm lucky if I can remember what I ate last night for dinner. Then we have future visuals. So before an upcoming event, a meeting or a phone call or a trip to the grocery store, close your eyes and visualize how you think it will unfold. Pay attention to the people, the colors, and the overall atmosphere. And then you compare it to reality later. So whatever happened. The only thing I would suggest here is just make it a positive experience. Don't think it's going to be a bad meeting or a bad phone call.
Well, they always say, you think positive, you attract positivity.
Correct. Yes.
Well, this one is actually, I know that you and I have practiced with this one. This is remote viewing. So what remote viewing is where you have a friend and we would put an object in a circle and you try to figure out what's in that circle. So what you're going to do is you're going to concentrate on the energy that's in that circle. You describe any visual thing about that object. And I remember distinctly the one time that we did it, I was picking up on an energy, and as it happened to be, it was an image that she had put it in the circle, but then had taken out and then put something else in. So I didn't get what was in the circle. I got what was outside of the circle. Yeah. Do you remember an experience with remote viewing?
No, but we should have an episode fully on remote viewing.
I think that would be a really good, and then we'll get more details on.
Yeah, because remote viewing goes back to the CIA using it as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's really cool. You don't say a flower. You go through the flower details, like it has petals, and you describe the oval shape of each petal, and maybe you say it has 10 petals.
The velvet touch, or the thorns on it. Yeah.
Yep.
So then the next is dream journal and interpretation. So one of the practices that I do, because I dream very vividly, to the point where it got me in trouble sometimes because I'd be very mad at my ex because he would do something very terrible in my dreams and I would yell at him. I'd be mad at him for days. But basically what I do is I keep a journal on by my bed or near me somehow. And upon waking, and I've always told my guides, wake me up if it's important that I need to understand or I need to remember it for some reason. Wake me up. So the moment that I wake up with that dream in my mind's eye, I will write it down immediately and record everything that I can remember, even as wacky as it seems. And I've had some wacky ones. And over time, you have maybe a reoccurring symbols or colors or themes that might have a message from your subconscious and a higher self. I remember a coworker of mine, she's like, okay, what does this mean? And she goes, I keep on having the same dream, and she's always cleaning her mom's kitchen or her mom's house. I can't remember exact details, and so we kind of did a deep dive and we started looking into it. There's a lot of symbolism there, but there's my latest one is I had my latest one was one of my clients who's 80, I think she's 83 or 82, 83. And she's goes whizzing past me as on like a motorcycle or whatever. And she says, Rebecca, the light's not going to get any greener. And as it turns out, I'm sitting at a stoplight and the light's green. So I'm still unpacking that one. I'm see what that means.
See, I don't remember my dreams. I say, all right, I don't dream. But when I do wake up and I know that I have a dream, I always forget to write it down because, I'm going to remember and never do.
And that is why I have a notebook right next to me, because I don't want to search for a pen. I just write it down. Half the time I go back to sleep if I need to, but yep.
Yeah, I always forget it. So the next one I have is cloud gazing.
Oh, I love cloud gazing.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do it as a kid all the time.
Yeah, so you go outside, you lie down and you watch the clouds. Instead of seeing shapes, ask your intuition to show you something specific or meaningful in the cloud formations. And this is kind of cool to do because, as you watch the clouds go passing by, it's really cool what pops up.
I actually have never done. I mean, I've watched the clouds and I've seen shapes, but I've never asked my intuition of like, show me something. I'm gonna have to try that one. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, show me a pig and see what happens.
Yeah, maybe you can see PD.
Yeah, there you go. I also try to look at the auras around the clouds too.
Oh, okay.
So
never done that either.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool too.
Very cool.
So we're still spending some time in nature. And you're going to ask for a visual sign or symbol related to a question you have. Then be open to see patterns in animal appearance or specific natural elements that stand out. For instance, a rabbit, a tree, or maybe there's a specific pattern in the leaves that are on the floor.
I always find symbols. I recall one right now that I was heading up to the cities and sitting yes, I live out in the middle of nowhere, and there was a silo, and on the top of the silo was 2 bald eagles. No water to be seen, but 2 bald eagles. And talk about symbolism, because they're wise and majestic and just gorgeous. So took that as a good omen, and the day went really well. So that was good.
Oh, I love the look of bald eagles. Oh my goodness. I was just watching something and they weigh very little. It's the feathers that add the weight.
I actually was in Alaska once, and I can't remember the actual city, but I remember that we were kind of next to like a fishery. We're talking dozens of
Ooh.
eagles in this one spot.
Wow.
It was so cool. And I wish I could tell
awesome.
you which town it was, but I don't remember.
That my my first eagle I saw was in his zoo.
Oh,
Maybe I saw one out in the wild.
well, you live in the
Not a whole
city.
lot, yeah. All right, so you could also play the Who's Calling game. So before answering your phone, or looking at a text notification, close your eyes and try to see who it is or what the message is about. So that one's good, as long as you don't have your caller ID on, and your phone is facing the other way.
I don't use it to visualize it, but I've done it intuitively. If like, is this important? Do I need to get it?
Oh, okay.
So I've done it that way, but not necessarily in visualizing.
I've tried to guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's one for you. So this is something I've never done, but I definitely am going to try. It's called the inner movie screen. So you simply sit quietly with your eyes closed, imagining a blank movie screen in your mind's eye. And you're set the intention to receive clairvoyant images and just patiently wait and watch for flashes that come across that inner screen. And you don't judge, you just observe.
I definitely want to try this too,
I
because
do. I will.
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know about me sitting still and watching to see if a movie screen comes and what comes, but maybe I could do something like a movie screen of my house or something, and like me moving around through it, like I did for seeing the stove.
Yeah. 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 Like I said, I've never done it, but I'm definitely going to try it. So the next one I've actually done, you take oracle or tarot cards and interpret the meaning of those cards without using the book. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to pull a card, and before looking up the meaning, you're going to spend time gazing at the images, letting your mind see what it means to you and what story it tells. And like one of mine is what colors pop out, what objects pop out. So I do this one quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it's really good to know what those colors mean to you.
Definitely. There's another episode we're going to have to do on colors.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
So the next one I also do. It's called the license plate game, but I do it a little bit differently than what they describe. So the way they describe it is where you are driving around and you're consciously looking at license and asking your intuition to highlight specific symbols or patterns or numbers. I remember a time where I was rushing to get to work. I don't like it. I get really anxious and I'm uptight. And so I'm in the turn lane and the car in front of me, the numbers are 111. I'm like, oh, all right, thanks, guys. Thanks for the message. Because to me, that one's a couple different meanings. But at that point in time, what it spoke to me is, you're fine. God's got this. It was supposed to happen this way. So I just need to remember that there's a reason why I was running late that day. A lot of times it's for me. Avoided an accident or, whatever it is, construction or whatever it is.
I always look at the license plates too. And it's funny. I'm looking at the combinations, the 111s, the 222s, but you could also find a birth date in there.
Oh, yeah. I never thought about that. It might remind you of somebody's birthday that you're missing.
Yeah. Or an anniversary of some sort, or with the alphabet too. You could figure out a name.
Yeah, actually, my sister and my brother-in-law, anytime that they see 327, they actually will either take a picture of it and send it to each other or call each other. For them, that's their symbol because it's the date of their wedding. So
Oh,
yeah, I know, it's really sweet.
it's very
Well, just a reminder though, keeping a journal to record your experiences, your successes, even your misses can help you track the progress and identify patterns and build the trust in your abilities. Consistency and a playful, non-judgmental attitude is key. If you're using our Woo Seekers journals, this practice fits perfectly in the prompts and space we've created for you to capture and explore these signs. Your journal becomes a powerful tool to track, reflect, and deepen your connection to the message that you receive.
So, when we talk about clairvoyance, we often think of seeing spirit in the mind's eye. But there's a whole family of lesser known clairs that work alongside it, deepening and expanding the way we perceive energy. We have clairtangency, for instance, which is also called psychometry. This is the ability to gain visual information through touch. You're not seeing from your own clairvoyance, you're picking up the energetic memory of the item. It looks like clairvoyance, but it's hands-on. Yeah, I always felt that psychometry was more about feeling, but it's funny how you can actually pick up a memory of an item and see it.
I haven't experienced that yet, but I know that one of our friends does all the time.
And then we have clairspatial awareness. This one is rare and a unique ability to suddenly see a layout of a place, sometimes in full 3D, without ever having physically been there. Spirit provides you with a visual map or location sense that can include the entire building, detailed room layouts, or the way the energy flows through a specific space. That's pretty cool.
I think that's cool. And that very much sounds like if you're asking somebody where your keys are, a location of a missing person or something.
Yes. And that's kind of like remote viewing as well.
Yeah, very much so. I think it takes it to a different level, but it definitely is a very similar. And then actually remote viewing is actually considered another name for clair projection. And, this involves consciously going somewhere else in the mind and visually perceiving a scene. It can feel like the spirit is showing you a distant location or a memory. It isn't typically dreaming. It's a conscious jump into awareness, often utilized in mediumship or past life exploration.
Yeah, we're told to do this in mediumship, like have spirits show you where they lived. It's kind of cool.
Do you have any experience with any of the things that you've gotten?
I have tried going into their kitchen and seeing them there after I get the feet, of course.
Yes, after you get the feet. Do you remember that one time we practiced and I got your grandma's wallpaper? It came to my mind just now. Yes. So that would be considered like remote viewing or clair projection, I guess.
Yeah.
It's also called spirit travel too. Then we have clair intellect. So from my understanding, this is like downloads as visual maps or concepts. So suddenly receiving entire ideas laid out like a chart or a complex symbol or a detailed structure. It isn't traditional clairvoyance. It's spirit providing you with an entire system or abstract concept visually. So think of sacred geometry, detailed grids, branching timelines, basically a spider web of interconnected insights
That's cool. I can imagine the timelines, okay, from 1990 to 1995, that way in a timeline. But I wouldn't know what to do with like sacred geometry.
Geometry is actually something that interests me, but I don't know much about.
Yeah, I don't know much about it either.
The next one is clairambient. So this is your environmental sensing. So this is the ability to see the energy of the air around you. Well, it looks like clairvoyance. It's actually an energetic atmosphere of space conveying information. So you might perceive flashes, movements, subtle shadows, or shifting of colors in your environment. So I wonder if this is a lot like auras. Do you think? Or is auras just kind of a different subject altogether on its own?
I think auras are a different subject all on its own, but they're both energy.
Yeah. Well, it's often connected to discerning a spiritual presence, energetic portals, and subtle energetic layers within a room. So that kind of reminds me of like I was just watching Galaxy of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So, portals going from one spatial to the other, I guess.
Yeah, or Narnia. You go in the closet, right?
Oh yeah, Narnia. I love that movie.
That's a portal.
Yes.
It sounds pretty cool. Wonder what you could do with it, like what it means when you put it together.
Yeah,
Like,
I
how
don't
does it,
know.
is it just seeing or I'm assuming you'll get your other class with it, like feeling and stuff.
Well, here's the thing though, with a lot of these, and I think just in clairs in general, they intertwine. So, and I think that's why some of these, they could be clairsentient, they could be claircognizance, intuition, so many other things.
Oh, yeah. And like, I have clair empathy here with the visual overlay.
Oh,
So this occurs when you feel someone's emotions and simultaneously perceive them as a symbol, a color, or even a brief scene. Like, for example, you walk in the room, immediately feel a wave of, I don't know, someone's grief, and instantly see a mental image of a storm cloud or wilted flower. It's emotional knowing that manifests as a visual metaphor.
that reminds me of the cartoon character Pepe Le Pew with the hearts in his eyes and stuff like that. But then he's got a bouquet of flowers, and he gets rejected, and the bouquet just falls.
Yes, it's like that. Except for you're just seeing the wilted flowers over someone's head. So I don't know. I think that one's pretty cool. Or
That is really cool.
Or if they're really happy or in love, you see a big heart above the head.
Oh my gosh, I just got the image of Jessica Rabbit. They see Jessica Rabbit, and all of a sudden their eyes pop out of their head.
And their heart beats out from their chest.
Yes, and heart beats out. Yes, Roger Rabbit's. Yeah, I just showed my age there.
I think Pepe Le Pew's older.
Yeah, this is true. This is absolutely true. My kid would have no idea who Pepe Le Pew is.
I knew, though.
I know. Very true. Very true.
And the next one I have is unique, not yet formally named experience, where spirit shows you an image from your own memory, but infuses it with a new meaning as a message. You might be casually thinking about a specific beach you visited, an old childhood room, or a past moment, and that image suddenly shows up in your mind's eye with an unusual glow, like a subtle highlight or a strong emotional resonance, as if spirit is saying, look at this again.
So do you think this is maybe being shown something, because when we're younger, we see things differently than when we're older. So this is to give you a better insight of maybe a past hurt or feeling or something along those lines, so you can readjust your thinking?
That seems like shadow work as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to come up with interesting facts that we just thought were fun and thought we should share. So, Ro, why don't you go ahead and start with your first one?
Okay. Myth number 1. Clairvoyance means seeing ghosts or spirits all the time. Clairvoyance isn't limited to seeing spirits. It often shows up as mental images, symbols, or flashes of light in your mind's eye. You may never see a full spirit form, and that's perfectly normal. And when I first started this, that's what I thought I would see. And I didn't want to see like a spirit in front of me. That would have been kind of scary.
I do think some people absolutely see those. We know a few of them. I, like you, I thought that was clairvoyance, because we've talked about this, that, some of our favorite shows, that was exactly what you saw, is you saw this, creepy person at the end of your bed, looking over you. that was the image that I thought.
Yeah, I thought that too, but I think it's important to show that you might not get that. You might just get a photo, a foot, or, a flash of light.
Yeah. All right. So myth number 2, it's just your imagination. Intuition does use imagination as a bridge. But clairvoyance images often have different qualities. They appear suddenly, feel emotionally charged, carry messages that resonate deeply, and prove that they are true later.
Myth number 3, you see everything clearly as a movie. Oh, I wish it was like that.
It would be so much easier.
It would be.
Gosh.
But clairvoyance is often subtle and symbolic, not like watching a high-def movie. You might see quick flashes, colors, patterns, or dreamlike images that you need to interpret. Think vision meets metaphor. Sometimes you shouldn't interpret it. You just should give it the information out. So if you see an apple, you say an apple,
Yeah, because I remember one of the visuals I got was a playing card, and I thought it was all about me. And as because my family is huge playing cards, we play cribbage all the time. We were just playing over the weekend. In reality, it actually was a significant piece of information for the person.
See?
Yes.
Yeah, because sometimes you just need to, if an apple to you means teacher.
Right.
But if teacher doesn't resonate, then you just bring up an apple.
Myth number 4. It happens only in deep meditation or in trance. Clairvoyance will actually show up anytime. It can show up while you're driving, showering, daydreaming, even scrolling through your phone. The trick is learning to notice and trust the spontaneous visions.
Thankfully, it does not only happen in deep meditation or trance.
Yes, you have trouble meditating, don't you?
A little bit. If you can't see anything, you don't have it. Mental clutter, stress, or fear can block clairvoyant messages. They may actually have it, but it's being muffled. Regular grounding, cleansing, and intention setting can reopen the channel. The inability to visualize mental images is called aphantasia, and the term was coined by Professor Adam Zenman in 2015 to describe people who are unable to conjure up images in their mind's eye. It's not considered a disorder or a medical condition, but rather than a characteristic like being left-handed. People with aphantasia often uses other senses, words or numbers, to process information and may not even know that others can visualize things in their minds.
I had this problem when I first started.
Me too.
I could not, like, when we first went into like meditation, I got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see anything. I would see colors and swirls and stuff like that, not realizing that actually is clairvoyance, but I wouldn't see the field. I wouldn't see the house. I wouldn't, all of those things I couldn't see. So then I thought there was something wrong with me. Now, it didn't stop. I kept at it. Here's the thing, though. I could feel it. I could actually feel it. I could feel the water on my feet, but I couldn't see the water.
I actually thought that I had this too, and I heard of the word before, and I was like, that's me. That's what I've got. I can't visualize anything.
And how do you feel now?
I practice on my stove.
This is true.
And what's good about that? You could get up and look and see, oh, okay, yeah, I got it.
All right, another myth. If you're not clairvoyant, you're not intuitive. So here's the fact. Clairvoyance is just one of the clairs. You might be stronger in clairsentient or clairaudient or claircognizance. Many intuitives aren't visual at all, but they're very still in tune. I am the perfect example of that. I couldn't visualize, but I could hear things.
Mm-hmm.
I could feel things, and I just knew things. So I just kept at it. Now I can start to see things. Do I see? It's still not my strongest, but it's getting stronger.
Yeah, and that's with any of the clairs. Like, clairaudience is not a strong one for me either. I think everybody has like a few clairs that are their strongest, and they're learning to develop their other clairs, and eventually they'll all come in together.
Agreed.
So let's go over some fun facts. Clutter blocks clairvoyance. A messy room, overstimulated mind, or too much screen time can fog up your inner vision. Clairvoyants often feel better and more intuitive after cleaning or organizing their space.
I agree with this statement completely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. I can't when it's like too cluttered for too long, and just like I've got to do something.
So here's an interesting fact. And this clairvoyance often hides in the form of déjà vu. The uncanny feeling that you've been somewhere before, seen this moment already. Sometimes it's that clairvoyance recalling a past vision or a dream. And I've had this.
Yeah, I get a lot of déjà vu. I love visiting old places, and I'll walk in. I'm like, wow, I've been here before. Everything looks so familiar.
Yeah, mine were always everyday things. The visual was me sitting in the living room of my old house and looking out to my dining room. And I remember watching my ex walk down the stairs. Stupid meant nothing. It was like, oh, well, this is what's going to happen next.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Was it really déjà vu, or was it like a vision, a future vision?
I don't know. Because I saw it, I made it happen, or that was the way it was supposed to happen. I think that's where that kind of, you have to make that discernment between the two.
Mm. But it's still like a little glimpse.
Yes. And it was just like, okay.
Nice. So children are naturally clairvoyant, especially the children that have their imaginary friends. So what adults call pretend may actually be a child describing what they're truly seeing with their intuitive eyes. Kids are often wide open until the world tells them to shut it down.
That is interesting. I remember that Jenna had imaginary friends.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
she's an only child, and so she did a lot of playing by herself. So I just chalked it up to, she had to pretend that there was somebody there because I was busy, cleaning the house or doing this, that, and the other thing. So she had to make up friends. She didn't have any siblings to play with or anything. And I've asked her, and she can't recall any of it either. Did Anastasia ever have any?
I don't think so. I don't remember her having imaginary friends.
See, here's the thing is, I remember catching Jenna talking to the dog. So I wonder now if she was talking to something else as opposed to the dog.
Oh,
maybe.
That could be.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I wish I knew all this stuff when she was younger.
Well, with her having you as a mom, her kids, if she chooses, she could instill that, or grandma. Yes, wait.
It'd
be really cool to see where things go, especially knowing what we know now.
Right. And I think this newer generation is more accepting, I guess is the best way to say it, less limited. And I can't wait for a lot more people to be less limited in their thinking.
Yeah. I think this is where the internet helps.
Agreed.
Because back then there was no internet. You're just hearing from your parents and how they felt. And in their generation, that was not something that you even talked about. That those were bad words, witches, and you don't go to psychics. You don't do any of that. I was a wild child. I was probably in my teens when I went.
Really?
More available to me than they were probably you, because I lived in the city.
That's and your geography makes a huge difference. And there was a stigmatism that I know I carried of like, I didn't want to tell anybody anything because I don't want to be labeled. Nobody wanted to be labeled back then. Now I just don't give a crap. Label me the way you want. You're still in the closet.
I am still in the closet. Maybe not for much longer.
I was just going to say, you're not going to be much longer, Ro.
Okay, as we close today's episode on clairvoyance, remember that your inner sight is always available to you, whether it comes through in vivid images, subtle flashes, or gentle impressions. Trust what you're seeing has meaning. The more you notice, the clearer it becomes. This was a fun episode. Do we have anything else?
Actually, yes. Then in our next episode, we'll be turning up the volume on clairaudience. We'll share how spirit uses sound and words to connect, share ways to strengthen and tune in yourself. And here are the 3 words for this week from the Woo Seeker's Journal, A Journey for Your Signs and Symbols, Book 1. We have anxiety, artist, and backpack. See what rises. See what resonates. Go to @WooWooSeekers on YouTube to listen to our meditations for these words. Until next time, guys, have a good day. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for getting woo-woo with us today. If something sparked a memory, a message, or just made you smile, share it with a fellow seeker because the journey is always better when you can grow together. Be sure to find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Woo Woo Seekers so you can like, follow, and subscribe.
You can also follow us by visiting our website, comegetwoowoo.com. We are so much more than just another podcast. We're building a community of seekers just like us. We love hearing from you. If you've got signs, symbols, or stories that you want to share, email us at woowooseekers@gmail.com. Or any questions about today's episode, you can email us at comegetwoowoo@gmail.com.
Until next time, stay curious, stay open, and as always, come get woo-woo with us.